All right, everyone. So we've got another video here from Set the Programmer, and this one is going to be talking about how strong is Gohan Beast. Now, just in case you don't know, or if you're one of the few people who doesn't know what happens in this movie, well, maybe you might not want to watch the video because this will contain spoilers for the movie Dragon Ball Super Superheroes. So there's your spoiler warning. When it comes to how strong Gohan Beast actually is, it's an interesting, thing to discuss because we don't really know how strong he is compared to like other characters like Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, Beerus, Frieza. And I'm talking about all of them now. I'm not talking about the versions of them in previous arcs. I think it's kind of obvious to say that he's stronger than those versions of the character. But as to how strong he is compared to how Goku and Vegeta, like how strong they are now, and Broly and Jiren and Frieza, well, we don't really know because we don't know. Like we've never seen them fight, and probably will not see them for either for a long time, or we'll probably never see them fight. Like I don't think we'll ever see Gohan and Jiren fight. I don't know if we'll ever see in the future Gohan and Frieza fight. We don't know. Maybe we'll see a sparring match between Goku and Gohan in the future, just to, maybe Gohan will show off his new form and see just how strong he's actually gotten, and maybe Vegeta will be there to see it and say, "Yeah, there he is. There's the kid who I knew for a long time had insane potential." Well, him and Goku. I think Goku probably more than anyone knows how like how much potential Gohan actually has, and Piccolo, of course. I mean, hell, in the entire movie, Piccolo kept talking about how Gohan, like if he wanted to, he could be the strongest ever. So Piccolo knows, but I feel like Goku probably has more of an idea because of the time he spent with Gohan in the Room of Spirit and Time. But let's go ahead and watch this video, and we'll see what Seth has to say. But before we do, as always, guys, I had to ask you, if you want to show your support for the channel, you know what to do. Leave a like, share this video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, make sure to hit the bell for notifications, and comment down below with your thoughts on how strong you think Gohan Beast is. How strong do you think he is compared to other characters? And as always, if you have any videos you want me to react to and give my thoughts on, just let me know about them in the comment section down below, and tell me the channel where I can find it. And make sure to check the description for links to this video, as well as a link to Seth's channel, so you can head on over there, subscribe to him, and go show him some support and watch his videos. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and watch this video.
Guess it's my turn.
Oh, sorry, I always forget to check the audio, and especially considering this is footage from the movie, so gotta be careful here. Okay, I think it's over. We can go back.
Gohan, son of Goku, and probably the poster child for how to write a son when it comes to shonen battle series. Gohan has been basically that crybaby kid who had...
Also, sorry, just want to say something real quick, because just in case you're new, and I've already said this in previous videos, so you're probably, if you've been subscribed to me for a while, you're probably tired of me hearing this, but I've been getting I've been getting some new subscribers, so I do want to say this just in case you don't know, if you're someone who's new to my channel. The reason why I have to keep the audio low on the actual video is because it's a good way to avoid copyright. So whenever I upload a video, if the audio is a little too loud, then the copyright bot catches it and it blocks me from uploading the video. So if you ever wanted to know why, why I have to keep the audio low, that's why. So I again, if I don't, then I can't upload the video. So just in case you might not know why I keep the audio low, if you're wondering.
Insane potential that made all the veteran adults in his series open their eyes in shock whenever it was shown even remotely. From headbutting a guy so hard that it made him croak over in agony, shortly after this same dude tanked an attack that could turn the entire moon into dirt. A guy who was dominating the entire universe and was basically nuking...
Especially since I can hear music from the Falconer score of Dragon Ball Z, the English dub. So yeah, definitely got to be extra careful with the audio.
The strongest species in it with one finger, and could easily wave a hand and blow away giant planets and possibly even stars, getting the hands from a pissed off 5-year-old Gohan. Every overpowered fighter in the entire series was basically put together into one guy then given 80 billion pounds of steroids and plot armor. And just as he was about to blast away the entire solar system, gets vaporized once again by a 9 through 11-year-old Gohan. As a reminder,
yeah, that's something that people discuss, but no, I think Gohan he's 9 years old. He is, because he was 5 years old in the Namek arc, and then I think it was a year. I think if I remember correctly, it was a year, or at least close to a year, after the events of the Namek arc to the beginning of the Artificial Humans arc. So Gohan would be maybe not 9, he would be close to turning 9 in the when we get to the beginning of the Artificial Humans arc. And then there was the 3-year thing. There was a 3-year time skip when Trunks left. He went back to the future, and then we cut to them going to I can't remember the name of the island. It was an island 9 miles south of South City. So it was there. I forget the name of the island, but that's, I think, the location. 9 miles south of South City, if I remember correctly. And that was 3 years after it was. So Trunks leaves. 3 years later, they head on over to the island where Trunks said the androids were going to show up. So he would be 8 years old, he would be 8 years old, and then the events from there, I think, only span like a couple of days, if I remember correctly. And then he enters the room Spirit in Time, where they were there for close to a year. I don't think they were there for the whole year, if I remember correctly. I think one of the Z fighters, I think it was Tien, who said that they still had time, but they're leaving early, so they didn't actually spend the whole year. So you could say that Gohan was technically 9 years old when he came out of the time chamber, because he spent nearly a year there, and he was 8 when he walked in. So you could say he turned 9 years old when he was in there. And then there was the 9 days before the beginning of the Cell games. So technically, you could say that Gohan was actually either 9 or 10, not 11. The 11 years old thing, that was a dub only line, and it's one of the reasons why you shouldn't really use the English dub, the English dub of the Dragon Ball Z anime, because there were a lot of script changes. So use the manga, or at least the Japanese version of the Dragon Ball Z anime, because that's a little bit more accurate to the Dragon Ball Z manga. So sorry, just wanted to go on. Just wanted to talk about that because I know there's been some confusion there.
This Gohan was younger than Goku, who still thought bullets from Bulma's handgun hurt. A guy who terrorized the universe and was slaying literal gods and galaxies, and had just defeated pretty much every main character that had trained for 7 years straight, getting bullied into oblivion by a 16 through 18-year-old Gohan. Then, after doing nothing for basically years, does a little training with Piccolo and can fight god-level fighters who can punch away universes to save the multiverse.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, that was actually something that I wasn't really a big fan of in Super, and it's one of the things that I really didn't like about Dragon Ball Super. And I know there were a lot of other people who also weren't really a big fan of this. They didn't like the fact that Gohan trained for like a day and is somehow able to compete with Goku and Vegeta, who have been training for years. It's one of the things that I think a lot of other people really didn't like. And here's the thing, there would have been an easy fix for that. Just put him in the time chamber, because they had like 48 hours before the TOP began. So 48 hours, that's about at least close to 2 years. Maybe they don't want to stay there for the whole 48 hours because they need to get out and prep for the TOP and then actually be there by the time they need to leave. So that would have been enough time, and it would have fixed it, instead of just having him train outside and within a day just get that strong. It's just I wasn't a fan of it.
He has always been built different. Even a cocky guy like Vegeta, who only respected how strong you were at birth for the longest time, actually pretty much always gave Gohan his accolades and respect numerous times. In Dragon Ball Superhero, Gohan does this once again, but honestly on a level we have never seen before, in a fight that pretty much makes Gohan, Blanco, and Cell Dorado unironically canon. Yeah, I'm not joking. I wouldn't be surprised if Gohan Calvo, El Hermano, or some dude that looks like Shaggy, stronger than Grand Priest, shows up in the next Tournament of Power at this rate. Dude, like, anyway. This video, we will be going over everything we know about how strong this canon Gohan Blanco is, or as he is officially called, Gohan Beast. And yeah, that's his actual name.
That's not a joke. That is his actual name.
Just like with my last video on Black Frieza, this video will be more of a hypothesis on Gohan's power rather than objective fact. We will more than likely learn Gohan's pretty objective place on the pecking order in the next arc of Super, but for now, this video will be going over everything we know and have been told about and calculated all from there. Dragon Ball Superhero is an interesting movie for a few reasons, but I think one of the biggest things about it, it is literally huge fan service. And yes, this is relevant to power scaling. Most of the movie is building up to how people used to feel about Gohan, how Gohan can be the strongest warrior around and has shown to be stronger than Goku and Vegeta when he's in the groove, such as during the Cell games. This movie wants to call back to that, with both Piccolo and Pan wanting to see Gohan reach that level once again, while Goku and Vegeta are more or less not in the movie and more so just training in the background. The movie also takes place after the Granola arc.
Dragon Ball Superhero confirmed to take place after this manga. Dragon Ball Super was said after the Granola and this right. Okay, so it is after.
Meaning yes.
Because I think I remember there was some confusion, excuse me, about where this movie takes place. But yeah, it's and I think a lot of us did guess that this was taking place after the Granola arc. But I think I remember, yeah, Toyotaro was asked in an interview, like, does this, like, I can't remember if he was asked about the movie or if he was asked about the Granola arc, but I think it had to do with whether or not the movie takes place after the Granola arc. And I think he said, I don't want to spoil anything, which is kind of weird. I mean, I understand why he said that, but it's kind of weird because I think most people kind of knew, like, it wasn't really a secret or anything. So a little bit weird that he didn't just come out and say it, or I don't know, maybe he was told, like, don't say, keep it a secret, which, all right, I mean, again, I can kind of understand, but it's like most people kind of already figured it out. It's not really a well-kept secret.
Takes place after Black Frieza, True Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, Gas, Granola, Moro, etc. As crazy as that sounds. This is due to the age of Goten and Trunks and the way the movie is promoted on the timeline, and while there are some conflicting reports of it talking about being after Frieza and Broly, there's also material that clearly references Moro and Granola as well as Goten and Trunks' ages that make it pretty hard to say it doesn't take place after these events. For this video, since the Dragon Ball anime stopped at Broly, we will be using a few elements from both the anime and the manga in our analysis here. The antagonist of this movie is the Red Ribbon Army and a scientist in particular named Dr. Hito, who can make super powerful androids like Jiro and capable of giving the Z gang a hard time. Hito is even more capable than Jiro by far and can mimic all of these designs and then some on roids. He has been watching Goku and gang for a while and even has been watching battles such as the Moro battle.
Dude, sorry, I just want to say this real quick, but
he's been watching Goku and gang.
Yeah, so this intro, when it got released on YouTube, I remember a lot of people really liked it. And I think there are some people out there who kind of want the like the actual Dragon Ball anime. And I'm talking about all of, well, maybe not all of Dragon Ball, but at the very least the Z portion of Dragon Ball to be animated in this style that we saw in the intro with, I think if I remember correctly, the character designer's name was Chikashi Kubota, if I remember correctly. I think he's also now the character designer for the 3rd season of One Punch Man. Yeah, he's going to be the character designer, and it's going to go into the all the events that happened with Garo in One Punch Man, which I'm actually really looking forward to see how they animate that whole part of the story, because there's some things, especially towards the end, that are so crazy that I'm actually wondering, like, dude, how the hell are you going to animate this? I mean, this is crazy. Like, when they get to that part of the story, and if they pull it off, all the animators who worked on it deserve a fucking raise. They absolutely deserve a raise if they manage to pull it off, and if they make it look well, maybe not as detailed, but at least as good and as dynamic as it was shown to us in the manga, then I guarantee you that's going to be anime of the year. Everyone's just going to be talking about that anime. Now, I don't know when it's going to be released. I think it's in 2023, if I remember correctly, because they only just announced it. We saw a key visual with Saitama and Garo. So maybe it's going to come out in 2023, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to come out in 2023, at least. I think I remember hearing it's going to be then. If it does come out in 2022, I'm going to be like pleasantly surprised. But yeah, yeah. So a lot of people do kind of want the Dragon Ball Z anime to be animated like this with Kubota's design for these characters. Now I don't really think they're going to do it because, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to get a lot of views and a lot of people are going to watch it and they're going to love it. But I don't know. It just seems like, I mean, I think they're kind of already. I think I remember seeing that they kind of like accidentally told us that the anime is going to come out in 2023. The super anime is going to continue. Like it is going to come back and it's going to be in 2023. So I think that most of their animators are going to be busy working on that. And I also heard that apparently there's going to be another anime. So it's not going to be one Dragon Ball anime, but another Dragon Ball anime. So yeah, I think if they do that, I don't think there's going to be like a lot of animators left to work on a third anime. I think that that'll just be too much to ask for, for their animators.
For a while, and even has been watching battles such as the Moro battle, Broly battle, and much more, and then makes androids called Gammas capable of facing down this threat as if they're some type of superhero and that all the Z fighters are villains they have to defeat. With some promotional material straight up saying the Gammas rival Goku and Vegeta in strength due to this. The Gammas rivaling Goku and Vegeta make 100% sense narratively speaking for a few reasons, but the first one is that the last big battle Hito watched was the Moro arc. Thus, he would make the Gammas strong enough to beat Goku and Vegeta from that arc. However, due to them getting stronger during Granola, Hito wouldn't account for this insane evolution, and they would end up as rivals in strength. As a reminder, the last time Jiro watched Goku fight, he watched the Saiyan Saga battle, and he made androids that could clap Super Saiyan Goku after training for 3 years after Namek. So let that sit in. We'll let that sink in. Well, I'm personally not a fan of the Gammas being this strong. It is the point of the movie, and the androids have always just kind of done that. These dorky robots that are just as strong as the Z fighters, no matter what they do for no reason. And Piccolo himself.
Well, it's also just for narrative reasons, and it's part of the whole thing with a lot of shonen anime where there's a lot of power cliffing. You have to make the next opponents like either rivaling the previous villain or stronger. Although in Dragon Ball's case it's always excuse me, in Dragon Ball's case it's always stronger, so them being like stronger than Goku and Vegeta, I think that's just part of Dragon Ball. I mean, that's kind of always happened. I mean, yeah, when you think about it, it is kind of weird how someone on Earth who, I mean, it was kind of confirmed that Earth's technology is not as good as the other planets in the galaxy. Like some of them who have been able to who have been able to travel in space for decades now, before Earth even was able to make even one spaceship that could go into space. And even then they needed the base that was the Saiyan pod that Goku showed up in. And well, there's that. Oh, actually no, they used the ship that the unnamed Namekian came to Earth with. So they needed someone else's spaceship in order to get the technology. So when you think about that, it is weird that someone on Earth was able to create technology that could rival someone who is stronger than the leader of the people who had that technology. You know what I mean? It is a little hard to accept, but again, it's shonen. It's all a part of it. It's something you just kind of have to it's something you just kind of have to accept. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but let's go ahead.
Himself even thinks the Gammas are Goku and Vegeta tier after fighting them, and he's a great combat analyst, much more than most characters at least, and has not only trained Gohan perfectly to near Goku's level in just a day or two, in the Tournament of Power, but watch Goku fight Moro alongside Vegeta pretty extensively, as well as fighting Moro himself. He has also seen Goku fight Jiren and could sense the power level of Broly and still makes this statement. The second point of the Gammas is that they are clearly supposed to be the equivalent of Goku and Vegeta in the movie when the gang faces Cell Max. They have the same powers, the two of them grow stronger in battle just like the two of them do, and one Gamma even does a self-destructing maneuver to help everyone get an advantage on Cell Max. I go over a lot more of these reasons in Gohan Beast vs. Gogeta Blue I did with Geekdom 101 and MJTV. You can check out in the description if you're actually interested. Anyway, for the most part, these Gammas are Goku and Vegeta, give or take. Piccolo then goes Orange Piccolo. Once again, I'm not making that up. He's called
Nope,
Orange
that's his
Piccolo.
actual name.
One shots a Gamma. Once again, not making that. He actually one-shots a Gamma that he thinks is as strong as Goku and Vegeta. And not only that, but he does not retract his statement about them. He actually doubles down on his statement after doing that. That means this dude, Piccolo, thinks he could one-punch, like Saitama mode, Ultra Instinct Goku in the face, and then fold him like a Looney Tunes character. Or at the very worst, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, which I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
I kind of hope I don't get dinged for that. Maybe I might have to edit that part out, because Warner Brothers is crazy when it comes to copyright. I mean genuinely crazy. Like if you have even a small clip, even if it's just 3 seconds, they'll claim it. So yeah, I might have to edit that part out.
Surprised about either, but you'd think Hito would account for the forms beyond blue, and Piccolo would specify that he just meant blue and not the Omen forms or something. But if you need a lot of copium, just say they mean Blue Goku. I don't really care for whatever reason. Anyway, Cell Maxon comes in and not only can throw hands with this super orange Piccolo that could fold Goku and Vegeta, allegedly, but also the two Gammas that both rival them at the same time. The battle that then unfolds between Cell Max and all of these fighters is talked about in promotional material as, once again, and I'm not joking, the strongest battle in all of history. Even if you just mean battles we've seen released at the point of the movie, this would include UI Goku versus Jiren and Gogeta Blue versus Broly. This is apparently a higher level. After Orange Piccolo is defeated and plays up his defeat a bit for Gohan.
Well, we here's the thing, like we did see, or we're kind of already used to this, like the promotional material always going a little crazy when it comes to like how important this movie actually is. It's actually kind of expected at this point. I mean, every time they put out a movie, they say, "Oh, this is the strongest battle in history." Like, what are they gonna do? It's typical like hyperbole you're used to seeing from, marketing. So yeah.
Gohan gives one of the rawest transformations I've ever seen in fiction, period, and absolutely terminators Cell Max. Despite Cell Max being this top-tier powerhouse that Jiren and Broly would probably struggle with, even being generous if you think he's weaker than them for whatever reason, Cell Max can't even punch through Gohan's aura. That's right, he doesn't just tank the attack with his body like Gogeta does versus Janemba. Gohan's aura is too strong for this dude to punch through, meaning the difference between him and Cell Max is greater than Super Gogeta versus Janemba. And even when Cell Max condenses an energy blast as big as a continent, Gohan easily fodderizes it with a special beam cannon to the head and ends the day, while Piccolo hypes up how Goku and Vegeta couldn't have done that, in which Gohan actually agrees.
Which, it's interesting because I think in the movie, when Piccolo asks him what that was, he says it was supposed to be a special beam cannon, which is, it's kind of weird that he says that, because it's almost like it wasn't. It's almost like it was and it wasn't, which is weird. I mean, I don't know, like, was that a new attack that he created that he didn't even know he made? Or maybe it's like a more advanced version of the special beam cannon. And yeah, I know that's not what it's actually called. I know. I've gotten so used to saying that I just, all right, it is what it is.
The promo material for Beast Gohan also explains that Gohan in this form will now become the strongest warrior after releasing his latent potential. And I'm not kidding when I say that the absolute amount of statements for this are just stacked. Here's one from Toriyama.
So, so I know I keep pausing, but I don't want to talk over the video. But it's crazy that he says he unleashes his latent potential, because how many times has this happened? Like, he unleashed it during Cell, he unleashed it again against what was it, Abu, and then he unleashes it again here. All right, it's at a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just willing to take anything. I just give him something to do, even if it's something that you've already had him do before. All right, fine. I'll take anything at this point.
Yama as well, where he basically just says Gohan is stronger than anyone, or so it's said, but lately he hasn't really gotten a chance to shine. In order to motivate Gohan, it takes his revered teacher Piccolo rather than his father Goku. And of course, this is just supposed to be the fact that Gohan is supposed to be able to be the strongest, and the movie is just sort of reestablishing that information or that level for him. Meaning, at the very least, even if you don't believe the Gammas and Cell Max are, Gohan Beast is absolutely putting Goku and Vegeta on a stretcher at probably the same time, just like Black Frieza did. The only counters really for this that people seem to think are counters are the fact that Cell Max's battle feels a lot like a weird Dragon Ball Heroes battle with Android 18, Krillin, and Fat Gotenks helping to hold off Cell Max for some reason. It's sort of just kind of like all the Z Fighters jumping Omega Shenron at the end, and for some reason Hercule can take a hit from Omega Shenron at full power and just be okay afterward. This is clearly just to have some heroes join the fight and lose and not to be taken super literal. Maybe sort of like base Goku coming in after God Vegeta came in and fought Broly. But if you want to take it literal, Cell Max is probably just decaying by this point on some Fusion Zamasu type beat after the Gammas fought him with Piccolo, and or isn't really using his full power, as he clearly uses more power later against Gohan Beast. The other denial point is that Toriyama said that if Cell Max was complete, he could beat Broly, implying Broly could beat him normally. The only problem with this is that Toriyama would be referencing a post-Gogeta movie Broly, not Broly from the actual Broly movie. Most people seem to think that Broly would not get stronger after fighting Gogeta, and I have zero idea why.
Yeah,
We
it's
see him clearly on Beerus's planet.
yeah.
It's implied they've been training with him a few times.
And you know what's weird is I remember in the trailer there was, and I think this was like the first trailer, not the teaser where you saw the logo on the ground and you saw doing the whole spin thing and you saw Goku doing the jumping around, you know, the warming up thing that he did in the Broly movie. No, not that one. I'm talking about the one that came after that, where where it was like an actual trailer. In that trailer, I remember there was a fight scene between Goku and Broly, and then when you see the movie, that scene isn't there. So, was that something that they just made for the trailer, or was that something they ended up getting? Or was it something that got cut from the movie? Because in the movie, when it cuts to Goku and Vegeta and Broly in the movie on Beerus's planet, it just starts with him immediately powering up, and then Goku telling him stop, and he's already in a crater. I can't help but wonder if maybe that scene was there, but they cut it out of the movie. Maybe it's to save up on time. I don't know. It just felt a little bit weird to me.
So no, Broly movie Gogeta still gets slammed, and the statements of Cell Max versus Gohan being the strongest battle we've ever seen can still be valid. Even if Broly in the background is stronger, we've just never seen how strong he actually is, other than the fact he's probably stronger than Cell Max, but that wouldn't apply to Broly movie Broly. Just this hypothetical trained Broly we haven't seen. I'd also say that Cell Max didn't try unleashing his max power once again until Gohan Beast did appear, and I think the visuals and techniques used are indicative of that, as well as the statements. This also helps the movie make more sense alongside the things like Krillin and etc. So, you know, when Cell gets scared or he starts getting beat up more, it's potentially he either powered up or started just unleashing and rampaging all his power, sort of like Kefla did on Omen 2 Goku. The last one is that Piccolo says that without Gamma 2's sacrifice dropping Cell Max's power, they could have never won. This is not because Gohan Beast could not have beaten Cell Max, but because they never would have gotten the time to do so, and Piccolo never would have been able to restrain Cell Max or hold him off for long enough for Gohan to get hyped up and then transform when Piccolo was defeated. Nobody would have been able to fight him for that long, and even then, Cell Max clearly uses more power on Gohan Beast than he did on Piccolo and the others, even when he is nerfed by Gamma 2's attack. I wouldn't be surprised if a hypothetical completed Cell Max was actually a rival to Gohan Beast, just like Super Perfect Cell was to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan back.
Well, that's another thing that a lot of people have been debating. Like, would he have been able to defeat him if he was completed? Like, again, we don't know. I mean, for me personally, I think maybe Gohan would have still been stronger, because that was kind of the whole point of the movie, like, is to make him so strong that he's like how he was in the again in his fight with Cell. So having it be more of an even fight would be, I'm sure it would have been more entertaining, but it would have kind of defeated the purpose of what they were trying to do with the movie, at least for me personally.
Back in the Cell games, and that is just my headcanon, but I do think rationally that would probably make the most sense to me from a writing standpoint, and until Super continues, we'll have to deal with a lot of speculation, so I'm just going to speculate that. Gohan, as I said in this intro to this video, was a 5-year-old that could headbutt harder than blast, that could nuke stars, because
Well, he was actually 4 at that time.
he got angry. I am in no way surprised that after having his ultimate potential unleashed by gods in training for so many years, he would eventually reach his own instinct-like power-up by this point, as he always could reach things Goku and Vegeta couldn't with far less time and effort. Going from a power level of no more than 14,000 in Daizenshu 7 against Goldo on Namek, to literally punching a guy with a power level of 1 million in the face and comboing him like it's Dragon Ball Fighters after getting mad just one time. And then even scrapping with that same guy after he transformed 2 more times shortly after. Or even getting such a crazy amp as a Super Saiyan 2 9-year-old that even with 7 years of insanely intense training, Goku and Vegeta are still hyping up just how strong this kid actually was back then. 7 years later, and they're still talking about how he was that guy, and talking about if he gets angry, nobody can beat him. He simply...
Yeah, and even though, like, Vegeta did state that Goku, like, when he turned Super Saiyan, I think if I remember correctly, it's been a while, like when he transformed into Super Saiyan 2 in preparation for his fight against Vegeta, Vegeta did say that, you know, like, hey, you're stronger than your son was against Cell. So yeah, it is crazy. I mean, it took them 7 years to get stronger than how Gohan was back then. Now imagine if Gohan had kept up his training during those 7 years. Like, how powerful would he have been at that point? Like, it would have actually been crazy just how strong Gohan would have actually been. And, you know, when you think about it, maybe it's kind of a good thing that Toriyama didn't have him train, because I feel like logically, like, Gohan at that point would have been way too strong. Like, I don't think, I mean, well, like, he could still make Boo someone strong enough to be able to compete with him, but I feel like logically, like, Gohan would have been able to do something against Fat Boo if he had kept up his training. At least, again, that's just my own headcanon. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but let's continue.
He just did it again in this movie, and we all forgot that Gohan really was like that, just like Toriyama said that he is. The conclusion, even after training with angels and learning an Ultra Instinct form and becoming the strongest in the universe, to the point Goku surpasses a guy that required a Super Saiyan Blue level fusion just an arc ago to defeat, and could beat down Jiren, Gohan surpasses them all by a massive portion. Remember that Goku tired out Jiren in just MUI, or Master Ultra Instinct, and surpassed Broly from the Broly movie even before he learned true Ultra Instinct that could bully that form in all of the Granola Arc promotional material, where he is stated to be the strongest in the universe, alongside Vegeta. That Broly he surpassed in Granola would be stronger than the Broly movie version 2, which may have already been stronger than Beerus, albeit I doubt they'll go with that in the final. In the anime version, though, Broly would be stronger than Beerus, or at least Goku would be, as in the anime, Goku in MUI surpasses Beerus at the end of the Tournament of Power, in Beerus' own words. I'm not joking, Beerus himself literally internally monologues that in a guide, with Broly rivaling Beerus and Gogeta Blue completely dominating that as well. Meaning, at least using the anime, Gohan Beast might just Terminator Beerus as well as Goku and Vegeta, probably in a 3v1. Yeah, just as the thumbnail suggests, they'd be lucky if Gohan didn't just blink them away after reading a book on how cool bugs are or something. It's pretty ridiculous. Well, at least, you know, Broly movie anime version, Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Broly, and etc. Because after the Broly movie, they all get stronger, and the manga would be a little bit different, but blah, 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 blah. Anyway, although I would have liked it if he was more obvious that he trained more. So, one last bit of copium that I think makes the movie make more sense for me, and this is an interview I sort of found more recently from Toriyama, and that interview is that the Gammas in a lot of promotion material are hyped up as being able to compete with Goku and Vegeta. However, Toriyama makes a statement that's kind of interesting, and he says this. He says, "My favorite character is Piccolo because of his quiet stoicism. It's rare to see him talk and run around as much as he does this time around. And this is also probably the first time he's got a proper transformation. Since he doesn't have any hair to stick straight up, I tried making him really buff and stuff instead, but I figured on its own this would make it kind of hard to tell you to transform, so I actually made him orange, although there are probably still times when it's hard to tell the difference between this and his normal form. But this is where it gets interesting." He says, "Maybe I should have made it a bit more over the top, but personally, I'm just happy that he's finally obtained battle power on par with Goku and gang." Meaning that if you really want to get to the very worst of it, he thinks that Orange Piccolo, which folded the Gamma in one hit, would be as strong as Goku and Vegeta. And then you can kind of see how when Orange Piccolo was like holding off Cell Max, but he was struggling really hard and eventually lost, that's what would have happened to Goku and Vegeta if they tried to fight Cell Max one-on-one as well. So instead of the Gammas maybe being equal to Goku and Vegeta, Orange Piccolo being Goku and Vegeta level might make more sense. And as well as the fact that if there is a Tournament of Power 2, Orange Piccolo being at Goku and Vegeta's like instinct levels with the orange form would make a lot of sense, as this would be like his orange form to even the playing field, and that's sort of what Toriyama was kind of imagining in his head. So the Gammas might actually be blue Goku and Vegeta level, and
which is
that's why
fucking
Gohan
insane,
was able
dude.
to kind of fight him in just their ultimate state, and then the orange one would be like the instinct levels. Although once again, maybe Hito just miscalculated. As
it's possible. Again, that's
considered the Moro arc like their maximums, or he couldn't properly gauge it, or current blue Goku and Vegeta are just as strong as Ultra Instinct Goku from the past, or something.
No.
That would be crazy, but yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
Gohan Beast is the strongest fight we've ever seen in history. Well,
At least according to the
maybe disregarding Black Frieza, as that statement was made before Black Frieza actually appeared, unless you think it was a timeline statement in which it would have came after Black Frieza. But speaking of which, who do you guys think would actually win, Gohan Blanco or Black Frieza? Well, I actually have some interesting new information you guys might like on that, but I'll save that for next time.
I think that's the end of the video. Okay, so there you go, guys. It's an interesting discussion to have. It's just, I don't know. Again, like there's a lot of things that we just don't know, because again, like we have these statements about the Gammas being on par with Goku and Vegeta, and Piccolo being on par with Goku and Vegeta, and if Cell Max beat Piccolo and Gohan beat Cell Max, then that would state that Gohan is stronger than both of them. But we don't know which version of Vegeta he was talking about, right? Like we don't know. I mean, was he talking about them from the Moro arc or the Granola arc? And even though this movie has been confirmed to be taking place after the Granola arc, which would obviously help, it does seem more definitive with that statement, because if he, and remember, like Toriyama is there with Toyotaro when he's writing the story, so he knows what's happening. Now, granted, it is Toriyama, and he does kind of forget certain things, which is kind of, that's pretty normal for him. I think that's kind of normal with a lot of authors. I think even authors don't remember everything about their own work. That's why they That's why they have people there, you know. That's why they have editors, because sometimes it's their job to remind them. It's like, hey, you can't do this because you did this here. It's like, oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. But yeah, so again, it's an interesting discussion to have. You know what, I'm gonna throw the question to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think Gohan now is stronger than Goku Vegeta currently, or do you think he's only stronger than Goku Vegeta from the Moro arc? Or do you think that maybe he's at least on par, like they're all on the same level with each other, and if they do get into a fight, it could go to anyone? It could go to Gohan, it could go to Goku or Vegeta. It honestly could go either way. But let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're here, guys, please consider leaving a like, sharing this video out there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, if you're new. And thank you, of course, again to everyone who has subscribed. I've been noticing that my subscribers have been increasing lately, and I seriously cannot thank you guys enough for showing me your support. And if you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, please click on the bell icon and click on all notifications to be notified whenever a new video goes out. And I hope you guys will join me for my next reaction. Bye for now.